Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, for those of you who have wives, girlfriends, mothers, sisters, daughters, know that most women use hair dryers, curling irons, straighteners, wands of some sort, most of which have cords attached to them. You can only imagine what that must look like in the bathroom. Fortunately for my wife, she does a great job of keeping them under the counter and out of the way, but even then, they still look kind of messy with all the cords. Well, that's today's project. We're going to make a hair dryer and accessory rack for under the bathroom counter. Let's get started. So I started with some 16 gauge sheet metal, which is about 1/16 of an inch or almost 1.6 millimeters. And the first thing I did was start laying out all the pieces that I need to cut out to form this metal dividing box. And I'm just using a straight edge right here. I'm using the plasma cutter, Power Plasma 60S. I turned it down to about 40 amps. You don't need the full 60 for this. It's some pretty thin stuff, and it cuts really clean at 40 amps right there. You can see that's what's left, and that worked out really good. Well, I got a lot of cutting to do, so I went ahead and just cut out everything that I had to cut out using the plasma cutter. And I got to say, it made short order of all of that. It was really quick and clean. There's the pieces right there, and just chipped off a little bit of the dross that was left over. And once I did that, then I just got my flap disc and went around all the edges and kind of cleaned up all the edges, and everything worked out really good, nice and smooth, and that provided for a nice smooth area to do some welding to. And then it was time to start laying out. This is the bottom here, and I'm just laying out where all these dividers are going to be going. I'm just using a felt marker right here from Milwaukee, and I'm going to start in the very center. Now this is the Power Plasma or the Power 210 EXT, and I'm just getting my settings right here. And I initially set it at 140 amps. I am going to be using the foot pedal, but that might have been a little bit too much for this 16 gauge material. However, it worked out pretty good. I just got some tacks in there, and this is all I really plan on doing, is just getting some fairly decent sized tacks on all of these. There's no structural value to any of this in here, and just some fairly large tacks is all it's going to take to hold everything into place right here. And you can see, like I said, I'm starting from the center out. And so I've got a little bit of room to do everything. And the idea was to get to put these in by just using the fusion method, if you will. But you can see that I got a little bit of gaps. Anytime you get any kind of gaps when you're trying to fuse something together, it's never any good. So I ended up having to use a little bit of filler metal in there. But still, nevertheless, once everything is starting to fit up pretty good, then I just went ahead and finished everything out with the tacks. Now I am going to close off one end here and do a solid weld on one end all the way around, because that is going to be the front, and that's about the only thing you're really going to see right here if you open up the drawer is the front. The back's not going to be seen, the bottom's not going to be seen, the top's not going to be seen. So that's what I wanted to try to get a solid weld top to bottom all the way around on that one end, and then I'll just take the flap disc and grind it smooth all the way around. You see me here just finishing off all the tacks once everything got fit the way I wanted it to fit up. And then you can see me just using a little bit of filler rod right here to start the process. I don't get a chance to do a lot of TIG welding, and so I'm a little bit rusty, but hey, we were able to make it work pretty good. So, and there it is. I'm just taking the flap disc and just cleaning up that front side and all the rest of the welds and areas that I just wanted to knock down so it'd be relatively smooth. Took a little time to make this box, but anyways, I'm glad that part of it's done. Now this is the bottom. I'm just using some 3/4 inch plywood here. This is again going to be on the very bottom. It's not going to be seen. And I'm just cutting it to length and to width right here and getting it just right. And once I do that, it's ready to install on the bottom. Now to do that, I'm just marking out again, and I'm finding the centers of all the compartments on the top side. And once I do that, I'm just going to take a drill. I'm going to pre-drill a hole at each one of the centers, and then that's how I'm going to attach the bottom. I'm going to flip it around and just use some small wood screws and go through the top and attach the bottom to that. Now I had to get every extension I had on my drill to get down in there, but it worked out pretty good. And then with the palm router, just a quarter rounding over a bit just to finish things off, to make it nice and smooth, and a little sandpaper right there is all I really need there. Now for the top, this is a piece of 1x12 poplar, and that's just a piece that I had. I didn't want to use plywood because you know, I wanted a fairly nice piece of wood right here. So I'm just cutting everything again to length and to width to be sure I get what I need to have. And you know, it's kind of tricky right here. My first thought was, yeah, you can see the line running off right there. I made a mistake on the measure. Good thing that the fence was square. But this gets kind of tricky right here. What I'm doing is I'm laying out what I think is exactly where those where the metal comes up and the dividers there, and then I just want to. My idea was to score, just score the tops, and then this top piece is going to just slip down inside. Well, that took a little bit. You can see it took me a couple of passes to get it maybe 3/16 of an inch wide in order to get them to fit down in there. But hey, ultimately it made it. And then just drilling them out. This is like a 2.5 inch hole saw right here. You know, and there again, you know, through poplar, it was a bit of a challenge. Just the stuff, it was just hard, kind of hard to drill through, even though it's soft wood. It kept loading up on the drill bit. So you see that wire brush in my left hand right there as I'm drilling. I'm hitting and knocking off the buildup on the drill. But hey, we got it done. And then again, the palm router with a quarter rounding over a bit. This right here was kind of freaking me out a little bit. This is some siding that I had to make for the sides all the way around, and it was really particular cutting right here. I had to make a ledge and cut it really thin, and you know, running it through the saw like that and just making small pieces, it was a bit of a challenge. I was able to do it. And then of course the Bosch compound miter saw in its 45-degree angle gives me the 45s that I need to make the corners work. And here it is. I'm just gluing it on, and that's where that lip came in. You can see I kind of created a lip that just fits right over that metal, but it gets right close to the wood, and that's how I'm able to get the brads in the top right there into the wood, and that's going to create this this ledge all the way around the top piece. So it's like a lid. Once I got that done, then the next thing I wanted to do is attach that lid to the metal, and I just used some like self-tapping screws, and I assisted it with this little 1/8 inch drill bit right here, and I just put 2 screws on each side. That's all you really need. It's just to hold the lid in place. It's not going to be moving, so this is just the way I did it, and that worked out pretty good. So final sanding and all the edges all the way around before I get some paint on it to be sure there's nothing rough and sticking out. And it's really starting to take shape. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm putting these drawer glides, self-closing drawer glides on right now. And I don't know why I keep choosing these self-closing drawer glides. You know what? They're cool and everything, and I like them. They're only a few bucks more than what a regular drawer glide is, but sometimes those things pose problems. There it is. I'm just painting it up. This is just some off-white that I had laying around the shop. It's just like an antique white, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then here I'm talking about, I'm stalling now. I'm doing this blind upside down, and I thought I had all spacers and everything right where it needed to be, but it took me about 3 or 4 times to get the guides exactly where they needed to be in order for the drawer to close. I ultimately got it, and but I think these self-closers are overrated. There it is. It's on, and it works, and I gotta say it's been a pretty good project, and most of all, it made my wife happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.